Hello everyone, welcome to another week in our garden. Now we have actually dried out a little now. We've had nothing but rain for the last week. The bottom of the garden is actually flooded twice, not a lot but enough to stop us getting on it. The top of the garden is still pretty wet, but we will be doing a little bit of digging in preparation for the cauliflowers after we've done this trough. We're going to fill this trough on the front of the cottage with some nice winter plants. Then we'll go down and do some digging, okay? This is the trough I'm going to fill. It's an old fiberglass one, but it's quite sturdy and lasts well. Now I've looked around the garden centres etc. of what's available for winter planting. The only thing I can really find this year are these conifers, which are cypresses, gold crest they are. If you're in a very exposed area with very cold winds, these will brown off, but at the front of the cottage they'll be perfectly alright. A few very small chamaecyparis just to put at the front, and some small pots of skimmias, which I'll also put in the centre. I'll put a group of those just to colour them up. Perfectly hardy, they'll be fine. At the end of the season next year, when we take these plants out for the bedding, these will be planted into the garden. We've got some bellis, some sweet williams and some pansies, and a little bit of colour there, cyclamen. Now the cyclamen might not get through the winter because they're a little bit delicate, as shall we say, but by the time they've finished, the pansies have taken over, so everything comes up nicely. Okay, now the trough, I've actually taken the compost out and put new compost in, and I've also put bulbs in the bottom, so that in the spring the bulbs will come up and will give that second colour, if you like. Now what I'm thinking is if we use, if you just put a single conifer in, it'll look odd. So if we group these in threes like that, and then we'll put a cyclamen, then we'll have a cyclamen about there, and pansies and bellis round it, and the skimmias I thought we might just put, I'm going to put 3 skimmias in the centre so we've got some nice colour, and in that end there do the same with the conifers, and then plant up with pansies, sweet william and bellis. This will be how we'll start, and then we'll interplant with the other plants. Okay, so we'll get these planted and come back to you. So there you are, I put the base plants in, and now we can just put the colour around it. Remember, if you are going to use these cyclamen, to lift them as high as you dare so the water drains away from them. It might make them last a little bit longer. Now what we'll do is we'll put some sweet william. Now these will get a little taller. There's 1 or 2 dead flowers on them that need taking off. There you go. But they are growing well, look, you see all these will flower as well. So put these in the back. Perhaps another one there. And this pink, this will stretch up, so we're all right. So it'll be a white and pink, and we'll pop those 2 in there. I have potted these actually, look, so I could hold them a little because of the rain. So the only way I could make them safe was just to pop them in these liners. As you see, they're beginning to grow through. Just work our way along. Here we are. There we go. Kids aren't there. There you go. 2 more then we'll put the pansies in. There you go. Put it about halfway back, it will thicken up and stand nicely with that little gold crest. Now we'll put the bellis in. We'll put the bellis in, put 4 in, 2 at this end and 2 at that end. Again, I've actually potted them because of the rain, as they haven't started growing through yet. Compost I'm using is just ordinary potting, just straight pot. It's actually quite a cheap potting because I didn't want to get too rich a soil for winter. They're not going to do much. There you go, took them all in nicely. Now we'll put these pansies in. Again, I'll have to deadhead them first. We had them a little while before the rain, so again I've actually potted them just to get them to hold, so I don't know. Yes, they are growing through, look, so that's good. This is a nice white one, so it can go in with the conifers. There you go. See if we can have one to balance it over the other side. We'll just pop one in there. There you go, just move the sweet william a little bit so we get it in. That'll come up nicely in there, sweet william will come up there. The bellis, as this goes, the bellis will take over there, and we'll put another pansy in there just to fill up. Now we'll start at this end and work our way through filling up, making sure they're all the different colours. We'll put this one here, I think. Just move the bellis in a little bit, turn it, that's it. If you don't plant them too tight, it gives you manoeuvre room. Because we've got this one planted very, very high, I'm actually going to push another pansy in this side of it. We'll pop this yellow one in. That'll look nice in there, you see, make it smile. Now, we said last year about the cyclamen might not make it, but they actually lasted right until the big frost came. Same again then, one this side, so it'll take over from that cyclamen should it go. We'll have a nice yellow there, I think. There you go, nice yellow one in. Then we'll clean the front. This one I'm putting right back here, so it'll show from the side and back as it grows. Right, we'll pop this one between the conifers so it fills up nicely. Conifers won't grow a lot in the winter. There you go. Then that's the planter planted up, ready for winter. And remember, all these plants, especially the conifers and the skimmias, will go into the garden in the spring. Now that's the trough planted up for winter. As you can see, it'll make the cottage smile on these dark, wet, horrible days. Now we've come down the vegetable plot, a little bit of wind getting up, a bit chilly, but the sun's still out and it's dry, that's the main thing. Now we're going to do a little bit of digging and fertilising on the plot where we're going to put the cauliflowers, the brassicas and the romanesco. This is where we're going to do this little bit of digging. As you can see, I took a trench out, and it's not a deep trench if you notice. About 3/4 of the spade, that's plenty deep enough for this. Now when I started, the first thing I did was dug the trench at that end and put the soil to one side. Then when I get back on the other side, I can put that soil back in. Right, so having dug the trench, what I'm doing, I'm having to walk on these boards because the soil is so wet, but we'll be alright. Now this is well rotted manure and garden compost, and there's quite a bit of barley straw in it as well, so it's a well rotted compost, if you like. That's good. About 4 shovels, not too much. Pop those in. What I do now, I take a good handful of hoof and horn and spread it on top of the manure. As you can see, it has a 13% nitrogen. The beauty of it is though, it'll take a good 6 months to decompose in the soil, so through the winter it'll aid the rotting and the soil microbes into that manure. As you can see, it's a meal, and we'll just take about an handful and we'll spread it on top of the compost itself, on top of the manure, if you like. Just about a handful, not too much. Just pop the lid on. It is quite powdery, so try not to do it in the wind. And then what I do is I quite lightly just fork that into that bottom. Not too deep, just enough to mix a little bit of soil with the manure. And that's turning that nicely, look. Now that'll give the roots something to come down to next year to feed off, and also it'll be a good reservoir of the water when it gets hot. Yeah, I just level it off. Now the other thing we use at this stage is lime. Now this is granulated lime, as you can see, and I just sprinkle it on the soil, not onto the compost. Just like that though. With it being granulated, it is actually limestone. Now limestone takes a long old time to get into the soil, so put it in now, and by the time we've wintered, it'll be nicely into your soil. That's all ready for covering up now. So we'll move those back. I'll just take the other side out before we do it. There's a few flies about today. I think it's the rain's held them off. And then I put that the other side of the fork like that, and I move that marker there, so while I'm digging I know where the edge of the manure is, you see. Finish that then, just move those over. And then same again, look. Put that in at an angle so it stretches it. That'll do nicely, and then move that stick to there so we know that's the edge. Now because it's so wet and sticky, I'm actually doing this with the spade. Normally I do it with a fork, but I've had to change to the spade. And you'll see how wet it is when I turn it, but it's not too bad. This will also help dry out the soil Now remember, don't go too deep, you only want it 3/4, and then just spin it over. Try not to bite off too much, it'll make life easier for when you're breaking it up. There you go. So I'll do this across and then I'll show you when I've got my trench empty again. I'll just take a few of the crumbs out the trench and tidy up. That's it. And then just go along, leveling off. You can see it's not too deep, so we're not double digging. We're just adding manure to the bottom layer. Now you can see that the trench is ready to start all over again, moving back. Try to do it with a string and pegs, so at any time you can say, oh, that's enough for now, I'll go and have a cup of tea, because you can leave it. There is a little bit more we need to do through the winter, and that is we'll leave it to settle. This will go right down and be nice and tight for the brassicas. As you know, brassicas like hard, tight soil, but the top I'll periodically through the winter rake it over with the 4-prong rake, just to break the top off, to let the moisture and the rain in, which will draw the oxygen in as well and keep it good. It also keeps the weeds down, which is not a bad thing. Now that'll be it for this week. It's only a short one because we've had some terrible bad weather. At one time where I'm actually stood now was under 2 inches of water, so we've had a lot of rain here. It's soaked away quite quickly, so we're all right this time. Now next week we'll be able to show you some of the other maintenance things to get done ready for winter, and we also want to think now, if we're going to do holly rings with us, we need to make sure you order the rings from Amazon or wherever you order them from, some ribbons. Keep looking round for your new best friend who's got a nice holly tree, who'll let you have some holly, some pine cones. Get them all ready now, so when we get into December everything's ready, so we can get the holly rings done. I'm also out and about looking round now. I've seen a very nice holly tree up the village that I'm going to knock on their door and ask them if I can prune it. So that'll be it for this week. Many thanks for watching us. Thank you for subscribing, we do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next week, and just hope this weather holds. It's absolutely gorgeous at the moment. Anyway, bye now.